That's right. We're live with Stripping Down D&D with Tom and Typo. Of way I point out, neither are here with us tonight. I'm your new host for the evening, DM Doc. I'm sorry, I just wanted to get a little flash and pizzazz in that. Thank you, Ben Quinn, by the way, for writing Modern Prometheus, Fire Day 2010. One of my favorite songs to use for any kind of intro. As you guys can see, I got a couple of guests tonight. Some of them are just little blue stick figures. I love that, Tom. Tom Rhodes is with us. Funny enough, probably on the road. Everybody knows.
Actually, I'm home.
Everybody
I'm
knows.
on a week's paid vacation.
What?
Yep.
That's
nice.
That's bullshit. You're a truck driver. You're out there doing things for America. Get out there, America already. Gosh darn it.
I'm America-ing tomorrow.
The last giggle was Aoife.
Hi, guys.
Everybody knows Aoife. She's usually on here. We remember Doc Norman from helping me screw this up last week when we were talking about barbarians.
Rage on.
And I don't know what you go by because I have your real name. You want me to say your real name?
No, Sweet. I got my Sweet.
It's Sweet?
Yep.
All right, so don't tell everybody it's Keisha.
Nope, not Keisha.
Keisha Arangelo.
I'll call her Bob.
It's okay. I don't remember names anyway, so you'll just be, that person.
So Tom was having some problems. I'm not prepared for whatever topic he had because I think his topic tonight was barbarians, how you play them right. Don't listen to the docs. So I decided to do
I'm a heathen. I can do barbarian just fine. You drink meat, swing an axe, and hit things.
Well, I wanted to bring his first couple of episodes together. So why don't we just jump into a segment? We'll call it Playing Your Character.
Ooh, I like it.
Sounds good.
All right, so we'll start off with the all basic. Do you guys have any rules when you're playing?
Yeah. You gotta kind of master of disguise it and literally become another person. You can't metagame. That's the huge thing, and that's usually what kills a lot of the fun is I know that there's probably this thing over here, or I know that I could get this shortcut, but I think playing your character, including their flaws and quirks, has a lot more benefit to it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes that means, there's times when I'm like, I really, as myself, want to do this, but there's no way in hell my character's going to do that. So I'm going to go and do this dumb thing, even though I really don't want to. But it makes it more fun.
Yes. Especially when everyone's fighting a banshee and you have no idea and it appears in front of you, offer you its hand. Yeah, sure.
Oh.
And the DM goes, hey, you're not dead.
All right, who's got their mic in a rainstorm?
I hope it's not me, but it might be.
Oh, with all the equipment you have from Bros and Dragons?
I actually just hopped on with my phone, and I'm trying to get everything else set up. Because I was sitting here just doing, nothing. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do whatever.
All right, so just to let you guys know, a lot of these people aren't talking from their butt. People know Sweet. She's on the show all the time. Sweet, you're up to, 9 games a week or something?
Well, no, it was 7. And then, one game, the DM said he couldn't play anymore. And 2 games I had to give up because I was so overwhelmed. So now I'm down to 4. Well, kind of down to 4.
What are you going to do with all your spare time now?
I'm actually started DMing my own game.
Nice.
So that was 5. Which I had my first game yesterday. I didn't do it as well as I should have.
But you did it, which is more than some of the people in the game are doing. So.
Thank you.
So Tom, you're kind of quiet. So everybody that doesn't know, Tom has been playing this game probably for a while.
Yeah, long damn while.
I think Redbox was your upgrade.
Huh?
Was the red box your upgrade?
Yeah. that was my DLC.
And everybody knows Doc Norman. Doc Norman is praised by Damien for his playability, and I've caught a little bit of it. I'm slightly impressed. You just need a better DM to pull the rest of it. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I'll explain that later because it's a big charity event that's coming up. And Aoife has DM'd before, and we're trying to get her back into it.
Yeah, I'm starting to put some serious thought into what I'm doing. I'm thinking possible vampires or an entire new world, vaguely based on D&D.
Okay, who knows the words to a whole new world? I'll give you 29 seconds because after that it's copyright infringement.
I was just singing it in my head as soon as she said it. I literally had a fantastic point of view.
So we talk about, I think Tom went through an episode of rolling out your character, and he talked about all the little skills, and he talked about the personality types, but it was kind of touched on when I was listening to the episodes later. And as you guys can tell, compared to Tom, I'm a little crack addict. I'll be all over the place, hands moving. It's just how I am, especially later into the night when I have to keep myself awake, and I put a little hot sauce in my eye. That's a shout out to you, Matt Best. So we're going to bring that together tonight because I am a DM. I'm known for my DMing, but I love to be a player, and I have played many games, so I know what to expect. I've been on both ends of the spectrum lately. And when I play my character, I try to, as much as possible, what Doc Norman was talking about, wipe that player knowledge and make your character. But tell me if you have a hard time with this. You roll something to see your skills check. You know you rolled low. The DM tells you, oh, you don't find any traps. Example, you're looking for traps. You don't find any traps. How hard is it for you guys? I know my answer. How hard is it for you guys to translate that into what your character would do?
Oh, easy. Easy.
Yeah, sometimes not too hard.
Just
Depends on the character sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're playing the greatest thief that the world has ever known, and you don't find any traps, the door's not trapped.
exactly. Exactly what I say.
Good. Because you get a lot of the times where people want to re-roll it, and I've been in discussions with some of the guys. I have some good friends. I'm not going to mention any names. They are in with different companies you may have heard of, Wizards of the Coast, and we were talking about those kind of dynamics in the game where DMs allow people to re-roll because they miss like a failed check of some kind instead of just playing it. I find it difficult. I'm not going to lie.
I could see throwing, for 5th edition, I could see throwing the luck feat in there, because if you don't feel like you're lucky enough, that kind of justifies a re-roll. But other than that, it's kind of like a knowledge check. It's everything that you know or can do at the time, and you just kind of got to take the consequences of it.
And go ahead.
Although some DMs do use inspiration, I have one game where the DM uses it, and if you roll low before he tells you, I'm going to use my inspiration and reroll. And he gives us inspiration fairly often when we just think really, really, really into our characters.
And I like that. I've been reading over the inspiration thing more. I am more of an extra XP DM. I like to give more XP for things and to throw that dynamic in there, though I've been looking at it more.
Mm-hmm. Although I keep forgetting about it because he's the only game that I use it. And I'm like, I just killed that guy. Because I was trying to save somebody. And I said I killed him by accident. I was like, I could have re-rolled. Damn it. So I keep forgetting that I have it.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I have a difficult time with that. If I roll, I see the numbers low, I know the numbers low, I have to trigger it in my mind. No. Your character doesn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have no idea. You rolled a 7 on stealth. No one can see you.
That reminds me of that South Park episode where Cartman's making it across the stage, butt naked.
Oh, yes. Look, guys, I can go invisible.
Oh, I wish Sam was here. That would have been awesome. So when it comes down to it, when you're playing your character, how often do you guys revert back to whatever personal traits or flaws that you wrote down, or do you play games where you create them as you go? I've done that to people.
A bit of both for me. When I roll up a character, I'll have the traits, but sometimes when I get in the game, I realize that I'm playing it a little bit differently in a way that works, and I'll actually go back and change them a little bit. Not like to make it easier on me, but to more fit what's going on in the moment and how I'm presenting the character.
Okay. I mean, I write down I write down everything, and then I never look at it again. It's because I mean I'm coming from unfortunately 3.5 where this isn't a thing.
Well, yes and no. Backgrounds didn't feed you the information, but a pre-written background did.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, so especially 3.5, where when they were talking about character creations, if you read into it a little bit more, they emphasize the background story of your character. You know, being ready to be part of the game by having some kind of background resource. What DMs fail to do is they fail to implement that because it's this little blurb, it wasn't in there, so don't do it kind of thing. But you're going to start an adventure and you don't know who you are. I agree with the flaws changing, what Aoife is talking about, or even the dynamic as a DM of watching characters change, because it happens. It's normal. Your ideas don't just stay the same all your life. Mm-hmm. And changing that on the fly like that. Of course, Aoife has a character that changed classes, races right in the middle of it. That was interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't do my homework.
I'll explain that in a second. But when you look at it, they force people to write it down, because if you don't have some kind of background, you don't know what your character is, where they come from, or all the stuff that they were trying to get you to pull out to have a story about your character. See, some DMs do it wrong. Some DMs DM the game. Mm-hmm. A good DMs just all he does is control the NPCs. Yeah. And then the players paint the picture for everything else. Now, the DM obviously has all the stuff that's written out. If you don't pick up on the little nuances of people talking, rumors, stuff like that, or investigate them, and you just try to go the main storyline, well, that's on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I play the background that I personally built, but I really play the background they give me.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Well, the background you write, I think, is more. I would replace it anytime. What do you think about the backgrounds of 5e, where they have dynamics that fit and they have like little feats to plug in and stuff like that?
I'm not. What do you mean? Can you clarify, please? I'm sorry.
So when you pick a background in 5e, it says. You choose these 2 skills. You're proficient at them. But some of them have like little feats. Like Acolyte will be able to find somebody of the same faith and they will give them food and shelter and stuff like that.
Okay.
I like them. Again, I rarely use them. But it's just I usually get in a mindset and I never think about that. I'm too busy mindsetting. Using proper English.
What about you, Tom? Oh, I'm sorry. Doc, go ahead.
I said if you're playing your character the way you had him set up, it should never really be a thought process on what am I going to do in this situation. You should never be like, how is my person going to interact? I rolled a thief up one time, and it was one of those quick modules and stuff like that, and hit the backgrounds, and it was like, you will do anything for your party. And up to that point, a lot of the thieves that I play with, the first thing they do is, I'll say first party goes down and they rifle through their stuff. I wouldn't do that, because I would do anything for my party. So automatically these people in my party are under my protection. I'm keeping their stuff safe. And my thought process is like, they pay me for my skills. They keep me around for my skills and what I can do. It's not the quick buck. And usually it takes a couple adventures for that to either get beat out of a character, which I've seen that happen before, or the party's like, now we're all against this thief, and the thief's like, what, I was just playing my character. And it's like, yeah, but, I mean, unless you're a kinder, you're not a kleptomaniac.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I did actually take the flaw kleptomania, so that did happen. And then I sicked skeletons at everybody. But anyway, moving on.
Well, and a lot of people do that when they roll a thief, or, they used to be called thieves, rogues. They automatically assume that, I've got to steal everything, and that's the way life is, and blah, blah, blah. My first rogue thief ever was an artist.
Mm-hmm.
In that he wanted that big heist that somebody said that nobody could do. Yep. And he was going to plan it, and that's what he did. But when it came to thievery of people around him, unless it played for something in the story, he didn't go around stealing things. He was also an artist who was hired for his adventuring skills, so he could go into places, and he was more of like a dungeon thief is what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think it can be fun to, because I think people get really stuck in the particular idea of what a class is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But we need to break away from that. So, for example, people might think that a cleric is always going to be this healer and help everyone. But you could have a cleric who's an asshole and will leave people to die.
Mm-hmm.
You sound like you play with somebody who's done that.
Yeah. Kinda. Not gonna say any names, but yeah.
Aoife's barbarian was threatened by my cleric one time to stop trying to hurt the lions that were attacking her.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I think when people look at classes, and I've had it in the game where, I'm going to keep a special eye on the thief. How do you know they're a thief? Or how do you know they're a rogue?
Mm-hmm.
It's a class, not a title. It's not like cleric, where their title is usually cleric.
Mm-hmm.
Or paladin, where that's their title. Nobody walks around, I'm barbarian, blah, blah, blah.
Except for Crondo.
Except for Crondo. No, that's just a bunch of people yelling Crondo behind him that come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there are those charisma rogues where they're not stealing, they're charming people into giving it to you.
Oh, yeah.
I've played one of those, and that was so much fun. It was just charm person and entice gift everywhere.
That sounds like a blast.
Oh, it was
I should make that.
It was so much fun.
So, Tom, weirdest skills roll ever. Like something somebody wanted to do, the DM actually had a roll for it. What was it? I got him while he was peeing, I think. We'll come back to you. Doc, same question.
Not weirdest, but one of the rules that I have, I kind of like that snuck up on me. Endurance check for sleeping in armor, because you want to be ready at all times. And being in the military, you can fall asleep in full kit anywhere, but you wake up the next morning, stuff hurts, things are knotted up, you're eating Motrin like it's going out of style. So having that endurance check, like how well were you able to sleep in your gear just to be ready at a moment's notice, as opposed to I'll take the rounds to like put it back on. And thankfully, the way I built my dude, he soldiered on without a problem.
Kind of like that. I could think of a few of my characters who would be those, I'm sleeping in my armor, I don't care what happens. That could be kind of fun.
Most of my characters are like, yeah, where do I hang this?
And mage armor, woohoo!
So sweet. Same question.
I actually can't think of any right now. I'm very sorry.
That's because you're not thinking well right
Back in
now.
my I just woke up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not entirely here. But I will in a moment. Some iced tea for me, right? But unfortunately, I can't think of any right now. I'm trying to rack my brain. Um, I must say there are some times when I see the list of 5e rolls.
Hmm.
It's like I could roll geography right now, and it's not there. So there are a few times when I miss other rolls.
But they are there. They minimize the list. It's up to the DM to understand how it works.
Right.
DM doesn't have to know shit.
There you are, Tom. Tom,
You can
weirdest
fix it up.
weirdest skills roll that you've ever been asked to make, or that you've seen in a game. Go ahead.
Weirdest skill roll I've had to make. That had to be with my con artist I made years ago. Because he had, like... I basically min-maxed him so he'd just be completely charisma, talking, right? Bluff diplomacy. This was back in 3.5 Pathfinder stuff. So he was maxed out diplomacy, bluff, talking. He didn't fight. His belief was, I'm going to talk my way out of shit. And so he had like a score of 30-something in his diplomacy. And the DM had me roll to negotiate, not really negotiate, but convince a person to not rob me. And this person's like a second level character, and I'm like, 10th level? And I'm sitting there like, this shouldn't be very hard.
Yeah, kind of win by default, almost.
It's like unless I roll a 1,
Yeah.
it was even that way because our paladin we had in the party had, his diplomacy was way below mine. And it's like, really, you're gonna have me roll to bluff against you? I have to roll a 1 to lose.
Aoife, same question, but I know I've thrown a bunch at you guys, so you're only allowed to choose one.
Let's see. I guess because I don't really remember my DMing days as much, but I guess it would be when someone wanted to build an early rifle in the game, so he could have a scope rifle weapon. I guess that would be the weirdest. And I let him do it, and I still to this day don't know why. I should have said, screw you. This is way before guns. Dream on, honey.
Somebody threw the same thing at Tom one time when he was DMing, and he said, fine, it takes 1,000 years for you to learn how to make the gun, and then another 1,000 years to make the ammunition. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the ones that are a little bit more creative. Like, I'm going to pat this person on the butt. Yeah, give me a sleight of hand roll.
I murdered one. Woohoo! There was a lot of things going on in this game, but I kind of got fed up, and so I cast Charm Person on another player to seduce them. And one of the rules that the DM had for me to do this seducing thing was to roll to play his flute.
Oh,
And,
interesting.
And not 20, by the way. Not 20, by the way. But that was one of the weirdest rolls I did. Like, really? Can we just say no, roll that. So that's absolutely the weirdest one was to roll to play his flute.
So there was one that popped up in chat, and I think the spelling's a little off, so I'm going to try to translate as best I can. They had one where their DM let, I want to say it's either dwarf or drow, roll for attraction to a pig, and after it was all said and done, it was raping time. That's it, not my words.
Wow.
Yeah, Captain, somebody said I got here at a weird time and they were talking about that. We were just talking about roles. So when you play your characters, do you guys swing towards, I don't know, murder hobo normally, or what's your go-to personality type?
I I tend to play somebody kind of like myself. I don't like to go too far off the reservation. And I'm genuinely a nice person, so I try to play the nicer type, neutral to good. It takes kind of a stretch and possibly like a warm shower with some crying to like really delve into like an evil character. Because I just don't believe in like you just do evil stuff to do evil stuff because then everybody looks at you and you're like, F that dude, like I'm not gonna help him, I'm not gonna do anything. Whereas if you're Palpatining it, which is like the lawful evil, everybody goes along with you until the big reveal, and then it's like, oh no, this dude was evil the entire time. It's like, yep.
Oh no. Hey, sweet, thank you for taking over chat for me.
Oh, no worries.
So, yeah, will you bring up something really interesting? Is that playing evil character, what do we do now kind of thing? And I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I had a necromancer back in 2E, and the whole premise was, necromancy is forbidden. Well, she hid herself under the guise of being a surgeon. So she could still perform her tests and her experiments, but it was more natural to see blood and guts everywhere because she was a surgeon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the party ever realized what she was doing, but she had a change of heart at the end because of things that happened in the game, which again is what I'm talking about. Your characters grow and move just like everybody else does.
I tend to play really, really charming characters. I don't think I've ever had a single character that's been gruff or cranky or any of that. I tend to be really charming, which I totally am. So, so yeah, just really charming, and how can I influence this to go my way, basically.
That's a great way to play it out. So all your characters end up being like that, or?
Um, Fairly. It depends. Yeah. I really find, like I said, a mindset, and I characters who lie really well, tell the truth. I have one character that is painfully honest to the point where, yeah, she will insult people, but she's very charming and very nice about it. So yeah, she's insulted you by telling you, that was terrible, but she did it nicely, and charmingly. But yeah, I tend to play very charismatic people. Like, I could have 6 strength and I'm fine. But if I had 10 charisma, I'd be miserable.
So Aoife, your personalities are all over the place when you play, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
How is that? And where these people talk about playing somebody that's more like them, how is it to get out of your comfort zone like that?
For me, I make it a mission to be as different as possible with my characters. But if I'm not comfortable with the character, like for example, my barbarian Argona was just so racist and mean, rude. She got to the point where I wasn't comfortable with her, so I didn't want to play her. So I still want to be comfortable with my characters, but I want to be varied. So I could play the evil character, I could play the super nice one, I can play the crazy schizo one, that's a lot of fun. And I guess you could say that's all a part of who I am. A crazy, possibly evil type person. I don't know. But yeah, it's my mission to be varied and across the board. This is more fun.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, being crazy is great.
I like different personalities just to see what I think that personality type would do, and everybody else's reactions to it. Obviously, yeah. Despite all the rumors, I'm not an evil person.
Well,
I'm caring, I'm giving. Like I said, more
yeah.
people know where I live than I really care to have people know where I live. That's why I'm moving. But I go out of my way for people, but it's interesting for me to play a character that doesn't do that and to see what I think that personality type would be. It also challenges me to face things that I have stereotypes about as well. I don't know about you guys. I use D&D to grow personally. I really do.
Yeah, same here.
I've been trying to get out of my comfort zone, and it hasn't been a complete success yet. I'm trying very hard, though. I do have an evil, charming character, and she charms people to their doom, which is awesome. But she's still charming, and her name is actually Charming. Because, that went over well. But, I mean, yeah, it's just, I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone.
So, Tom, what about you? What are your characters like when you play?
Well, as you know, I write. I like writing. So I'm always coming up with new personalities. Usually I tend to do the borderline crazy, antisocial, sociopathic druids of all people. Get the hell out of my swamp kind of person.
So you're playing yourself. I know you enough to know that.
But then I also play the what is it? It's the like I said, I've played con artists before. That was a fun one. So I had to hold back my hit it first theory.
Oh my goodness. Those of you guys don't know, I'm going to plug you guys individually of things I know about you. Tom is an incredible fantasy topographical artist.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
You have no proof.
Yeah, I do actually. I have some pictures you were doing for me. But yeah, and I love the fact that the people that are incredibly creative find something very creative to do with their characters. And I've seen some things I would have never, as a DM, I let it go because I would have never even thought about that. Players do that to you. Anybody who's ever DM'd knows that the one thing that you do is you write the story and you expect to ad-lib as much as possible because the characters will absolutely find that one hitch that you didn't even think about that they'll go follow.
Yep. Mage hand. Always think about mage hand. It screws you over every time. I lift the tarp. Oh, darn.
The spell knock. God, I hate that spell.
Ooh, I love it.
As a player, you love it. As a DM, it's your worst enemy. I cast knock. God damn it. That was a fun door, too.
So, when you guys are playing your characters, how many of you guys actually pay attention to how much your equipment weighs compared to how much you can actually carry?
Depends on the DM.
Not at all.
Yeah, that's mathing. That's mathing.
This stuff weighs something? I don't know that.
What do you mean I can't carry a 55 chitinous carapace on my in my bag? I don't understand.
I actually ended up seeking out bags of holding to cure just those problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does your DM roll to see if
went-
things pierce it, though?
Well, no, because it's magic, and it wouldn't be very fun if it was easily destroyed. But yeah, it always weighs 15 pounds. You can put whatever you want in it, so it's like, all right, cool. Well, within reason. We discussed and we figured out that dead bodies actually don't have a choice on whether or not they want to go with.
You got a dead body into a 3-foot square space. That's pretty impressive.
They fold.
Not really.
Well-
I mean, it depends on how you cut it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our thief did. She was running around, and one of the people decided to play a junkie and got high right before a combat encounter. And the thief had boots of speed and was running around. It was like, oh, well, here's this person that I hate. Let me dump them into a bag of holding, and I'll just loot their body later. And then the cleric, playing a cleric, was like, I don't see DuPont here. May, do you know anything? And then May's like, fine, here's the dead body. And he's like, resurrection. Comes back like a atropine shot to the heart. Boom. That was fun. Let's do it again.
So when you're designing your characters personally, I know we've talked about it on the show, what people's personal opinions were. What's the first thing you think of? How do you build your character? Do you have a class and race? Do you have a personality and background? How do you start? We'll start with Aoife.
I always come up with the personality first and then work around it. Try to fit even the weapon to the personality.
So don't you have a list of names though that you're not using right this second?
I have that as well, and I choose the name to fit the personality. It's all the personality. And if I don't have a personality, like I just made this drow, I don't know what personality he has. And that's really hard for me.
How about you,
Got
Sweet?
it.
Ooh.
Sweet, I think she fell asleep.
No. Actually, you got cut off by Aoife.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually, I tend to do very much the same. Where I pick the backstory first. I mean, I write a smidge. So my muse gets really, really excited, and then I write like a 3-page backstory. And then I choose everything according to that, which is that. I don't.
You don't?
Uh-oh.
I saw that.
Oh, no.
So we'll go to Tom.
I didn't do it. I found it that way. I swear.
Yeah, right.
I usually start with a background. In fact, I just for D&D, I have these like 1-page, they're full-length page background sheets, and it's like family, friends, place of birth, where you grew up, different age groups, young child, adolescents, whatnot. And I start with that. That way I know kind of where the character came from, so I can start building the personality and class and whatnot around that. Where did this character come from? What kind of family did they grow up in? What was their friend social life like? Someone just buzzed me.
Yeah, I heard that. Sweet, you were saying?
I have no idea where I left off because I am it a lot.
3-page background.
Oh, and then I don't really pick a weapon. I just I go with whatever my background said, and then what I can afford. If it's and then go with my classes, usually weapons and stuff. But yeah, I write a very long background and then add my scores according to that. Yeah, and I usually roll them first and then see how awful I did, and then and then write the background and assign. Because if I rolled 6 8s and a 9, then I'm not gonna have super high super high charisma. But yeah.
So Doc Norman.
I actually am kind of impressed. Like I do, that's way more thought than I put into it. But what I've been doing now is I've been looking at the people that I play with and then choosing something that will augment the group. Like, I guess I could be described as of late as like the rhythm guitarist or the drummer of my group. Like, I don't want to be out there and be like the focus or main point, but I just want to chime in with some amazing fury of sound and then make whatever they do just like so much better. So I've been like kind of picking support roles, like a cleric. I've been having a lot of fun playing a bard. Because they're the only people that in the middle of a battle can be like strumming on a lute and point at the villagers and be like, "Oh yeah, go put out that fire," and then they're like, "I want to put that fire out." literally playing music while the town's burning and like rallying people behind me. And then somebody's getting ready to do something, and you're like, "You get bardic inspiration. You get bardic inspiration. You get bardic inspiration."
Okay, Oprah.
I was waiting for check under your chairs. Everybody's got bardic inspiration.
That's not a good thing.
So I'm just thinking of Titanic as it's going down. There's
Works.
Yeah, I've had my fun of like being like, this is this is who I am, dark and brooding, and I'm going to be like the star of this. And after that campaign, the guy who was kind of playing my second fiddle ended up like getting more accolades. Like I went down in a blaze of glory, but then this dude's like, hey man, you're an idiot, like you sacrificed yourself and I'm still here kicking, so I get to rewrite the next chapter. And I'm like, oh wow, maybe I don't have to be the superstar. Maybe, you know, maybe the person that survives actually dictates the terms and can write what history actually was.
Yeah.
That has to be how it works.
I was gonna say history is written by the winners, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Aoife?
Me? No, I didn't say anything.
Fine, don't say nothing. Be a jerk.
Unless you want me to talk.
So battle scenarios. Anybody ever rolled a character and then went outside of the realm of what that character was actually designed to do in battle?
Yep.
Yes.
Probably.
Give them to me. What are they?
Huh.
So I had a cleric, a person of life, the path of life, that was actually like taken and captured by orcs. And throughout the entire thing, the party that's like gonna save me and tie me into the adventure, they're planning this like epic assault, and there I am being cursed at, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, it must be hard the way that you were, how you grew up. I feel sorry that you feel this way. And then chaos ensues. A guy takes an arrow to the throat, and he's about ready to like eat me with a knife. And I go and I pretend to like fall back on the knife, and then I cut my bonds. I failed my deception check, so he obviously knew that like I had the knife. So I cut my legs loose really quick, then I jumped up and I said, "Hey, you don't want to get stabbed by this. It's been in the dirt. It will give you a nasty infection." And that actually caused the DM to pause the person's attack on me, and he viewed me as more of a like, all right, this person's like, let me try to convert this cleric to being part of this orcish horde, because he's got that little fighting spirit to him. And then I proceeded to like Benny Hill run around the camp away from him until the strikers got to him.
There you go. Tom, you had a story for that one?
Yeah, I had a character that ended up using a spade for a weapon.
Interesting.
That's about as close as I get, because it was really interesting how it happened. Basically, I had a thief who, every time I used his swords, he rolled 1s and 2s. Never failed. 1s and 2s for 2 sessions. And so one day, we're playing, and I decide, I'm going to randomly pull out my spade. 3 nat 20s in a row. Well, this changes how he's fighting now. He's using a spade. So now there's this little halfling thief chasing, full-size orcs down the road with a spade in his hand.
Reminds me of Samwise Gamgee in his pans.
Pretty much. That was the next option.
What'd you do, Sweet?
I was playing a warlock, and I was doing Eldritch Blast, and my rolls were horrendous. After about 3 or 4 rounds, I finally gave up. I'm like, I'm just gonna draw my silver sword and throw it at him. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I was like, at 18, he's like, yeah, you throw the sword at him and you hit. Nope, I'm good like that. And that was just like, he was just like, oh, I can't believe that actually worked.
All right, I'm going to let the cat out of the bed, because Aoife has one of my favorite characters of all time, so I wanted her to talk about it. Basically, she took River's song from Firefly and made a character.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Or not River's song, I'm sorry, River.
He's a river
Yeah,
song.
Riverton.
The river song. Betrayal.
Yeah, except without like the intelligence and the reading into people's minds. But she did something where everyone was trapped, they didn't have a weapon, and they were forced to clean a drow shrine. So she rips she got someone else to rip the handle off of her bucket, use that as a weapon, a lockpick, everything. She still has it.
And then I realized that she was playing like River, so I would make everybody roll insight checks every time she talked. And I swear to God, Aoife had phrases for everything.
Yeah. Usually to do with food, because that's always what I'm thinking of. Gotta stop that, though.
So, Doc, you talked about at the very beginning that sometimes metagamers really just screw it up for you. And as a DM, I think that's why a lot of us homebrew. Because if I homebrew, you don't have any prior knowledge to what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you prefer? A homebrew world or a pre-planned campaign in a world that you've played in before that you know?
I prefer one where the players can interject, to be honest with you, because somebody else playing their character is going to mean that you can mitigate those responses. If you got somebody who's like, let's just kill everybody, and then you have that one person's like, but we need to question them, and this is why we need to question them. This is why we need to do these things. And you appeal to a greater cause or a greater sense of importance. It can often not only hook the adventurers together and kind of propel them forward, but then you also kind of end up building a little bit of dynamics inside of the group.
Okay. Hey, Tom, homebrew or pre-planned? And when I say pre-planned, I mean like a lot of them are in Forgotten Realms, and I do find it neat to be somewhere I know. Does that make sense as a player?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think you know my answer. I prefer homebrew because I have a whole damn folder of homebrew stuff that I made for my own campaigns. But then I also tend to use Shannara or, Forgotten Realms for people who haven't played before.
That's a good answer. But as a player, what do you prefer?
As a player, personally, and I hate to say this, but as a person who likes to write and draw and come up with things, if I see a DM pull a campaign out of a book, I get less interested real quickly.
Okay.
Because it's just like, really, you want to run this game, but you have no imagination yourself.
How about you, Sweet?
I prefer homebrew, unless it's sigil, and I prefer sigil. But I have a special place in my heart for sigil. But yeah, so mostly just homebrew, where I can just point my character in a direction, go, let's explore there, and I have no idea what's there.
Aoife.
Oh, I would say it's almost neck and neck, but I do enjoy homebrew. But then at the same time, really, I just want to be able to have my character impact an overall world story and rewrite history or provide something for the history of that world. So to me, it doesn't really matter, I guess, but I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Are you playing your character right now? Because it sounds like...
Yeah. A little bit. And also my cat is darting in front of my face, throwing her fur up my nose. So.
See, and I agree with the homebrew answers. Give me something I've never seen before and make it interesting. But that's a DM thing. That's how are you bringing the NPCs to life? How are you describing the scenes? How are you making this interesting? Are you giving my character enough motivation to do the quest line that you made? But when it comes to territory and stuff, and this is from a guy who homebrews, you guys even knows, I pulled out campaign books and I've used them because I love them. I love the dynamics of some of that, and sometimes some of these people think of things I don't. But I also like the look on people's faces when I say, okay, you enter this town, blah, 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 and they find out the name of the town, and you see their eyes light up because they know exactly what you're talking about as a player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you could change dynamics. It doesn't have to be the same. And I feel the same way when I'm playing. If I end up somewhere in Forgotten Realms or the Mines of Madness, the Caves of Chaos. I'm noticing a trend here. But something I've played in before that I've read in a book even, it excites me, and I don't know what it is. I could be sitting down with a DM, and the DM will start describing something that was from like one of the Forgotten Realm books. And I just get excited because I know what they're talking about. I know where we are. And in my head, I already have a preset image of what the area would look like, and it makes it easier for me to play.
On the other hand, the very first role-playing game that I played was Dragon Age.
Yes.
But it was I know nothing, and neither did my boyfriend, and it was very annoying when the DM was describing something. Everyone go, really, is it really? And we have no clue who it is, and everyone else is getting excited, and we have no clue. That happened repeatedly, and it was very, very annoying. Wouldn't even finish describing their character, and they're already shouting at his name, planning on what they're doing, and we have no clue. That was, yeah.
I'm starting to see the moral of the story tonight, kids, is don't metagame. You screw it up for everybody else.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you. You might know what's going on. You might know what it is. But showing everybody that you do know only makes you an asshole. I'm just going to say it.
I used to have a player years ago who I'd pull out, I'd generate a monster, and he'd be like, oh, is it this? Oh, is it that? Is it this? And it's like, you just died.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
That's not the way that works. Oh, it might not have, might not be part of the thing, but I made this is how it works now. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was fun was the day I threw a mythologically accurate Hydra at them. and they were going, and the one guy who did the whole, is it this, was, reading through the monster manual. He's like, this thing should be dead by now. And I'm like, no, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting more heads, I'm sorry.
That is incredible. I love that aspect.
Yeah.
So finally one of them had to do the, knowledge mythology check to figure out how to actually kill this thing. And they're like, wait, we have to cut off a certain head? It has like 30 now. Which one is it?
A disadvantage history roll to remember which head it was.
Or a really bomb-ass charisma roll to talk them all down.
That's me. I call it.
Not if you have a dick DM like me. I'll have you roll a charisma check for each head.
Oh.
Because they each have their own brain, right?
Oh, that would be it. I want to be in the room when you guys do that.
Yeah.
Doc Norman just sitting there going, come on, don't fail. I can see it too. You're like on roll 27 with 30 heads. All right, I'm doing good. I got 26. Sweat beating down the eye a little bit. I can do this now.
You gotta be a force multiplier, so you get one head to talk to the other heads while you're talking to the other heads. It's a Ponzi scheme of charisma checks.
I was gonna say,
with advantage.
Somebody's drawing a chart trying to keep up.
They move around, so how are you sure you didn't just talk to that head like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah.
You mark each one with like a little dot or something?
Oh, yeah. Let them.
Yeah.
They'll let you touch him. Yeah. You
just
come up to one head, and you're like, I don't know about your brother over there, the one with the bad breath. And yeah, he's an asshole, but you're reasonable. Dude, you just talked to me. I'm the one with the bad breath. Oh.
Wait.
Yeah.
Tom, in your game, they're running around with little Sharpies. Can I make a little dot on your neck, please?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Just use big generic terms like buddy and guy,
Yep.
cow.
Dude,
Hey, what's up, killer?
Hey, now the funnest part was I did actually make a Hydra once. It had 7 heads, and each head had its own personality.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
All that reminds me of was The Hobbit when he gets the orcs to argue, or maybe ogres to argue.
Yeah. Or in Monty Python with the 3-headed knights. They all start bickering.
Or a quest for Camelot.
Oh yes.
I just saw in chat, Head 19 has a beef with 22, but they will agree to screw Head number 3. Oh, God, that's awesome. All right, so we are coming up at the end of the time. Everybody give me one last bit of advice you want to give players out there that may be starting to learn this game on how to play their characters. Like that number one thing, and you're not allowed to agree. So if somebody takes your idea, have 2 ready. And we'll just do it alphabetically. So, Aoife.
I guess either go for characters that come off of pre-existing characters from books, movies, something like that, and then add your own elements. Pick a few personality traits and really make them important for the character. So, for example, I have one who she's very valiant. She wants to kill as many things as possible because her mother is an adventurer and she wants to top that. So whenever a monster runs away or something like that, she gets really upset because she can't do what she wants to do. And just really play that up.
You get 1. Don't give 2.
Okay.
Such a
Okay.
woman.
Gets 1.
Such a woman. You just wanted to start giving everything.
Not everything.
Doc Norman.
Figure out what your buy-in motive is. Why are you in this world? What is your goal? And why do you want to accomplish it? And how are you going to go about that? If your goal is to get revenge, this group of people that just kind of got dropped in your lap, if you could persuade them to come over to your side or say, hey, the person that I'm going against is one of the most feared fighters in all of the land, and you would get renowned from beating them, it accomplishes your goal and ties a bunch of other people together as well. So, who am I, what do I want, and how am I going to get it?
Sweet.
I would say write an interesting backstory, an in-depth backstory. Quirks, history. Do they cry every time they see a pansy? And why? And yeah, so just an interesting backstory that you can just explore and have fun with, and that the DM can also use on you, for better or for worse.
And we'll end with Tom.
Build a character you find interesting. That's the biggest thing. Someone you're going to enjoy playing, someone you're going to enjoy being in the head of. Because you're going to be in this person's head for umpteen hours a night, supposedly. So you'd have to be able to enjoy it. You can't just, I've had players sit there and play the, I'm an orphan with no friends. I'm an orphan. I had an entire party once of, I'm an orphan with no friends. It's like, guys, your characters have lives. Make them have lives.
Yeah.
Smoker cough.
Might I add one more?
I don't know.
Please. It's important.
I'll go ahead.
Don't annoy your other players. Do not annoy your other players. I am guilty of this. Do not annoy your other players.
Amen.
Usually I do rounds, but I don't know what you guys got going on. Doc Norman, I know what you're going to say, so we'll save you for last. But Tom, Sweet, or Aoife, do you have anything that you want to plug tonight?
I'm blanking.
Yeah. I do. On Wednesday at, I believe it's 7 p.m. EST. I could be a little iffy on there, but my DM does a D&D game on Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's it's twitch.tv Vanished D-Lord.
Can you spell that real quick?
Yep, doing that. So that's his game, and that's Alex. And please watch him; he's fun.
Aoife, you got anything?
Let's see. I'm actually making the Bros and Dragons Pinterest this second.
Because you forgot up to the second?
Yeah, I totally did. I swear, I'm gonna forget my own body at the funeral.
Sweet.
But now that I'm writing this up, please follow us at Bros and Dragons on Pinterest. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be on there probably most of my time.
I think my favorite place somebody put Bros and Dragons was on MySpace.
Oh God.
You know
Yeah.
what? That's the third time that's been brought up in conversation today, so I'm thinking it's going to start becoming a thing again.
I think so too.
Oh God.
Doc Norman, September 3rd, something going on?
Yeah, a bunch of really cool people are getting together for a really great cause, and we're going to role play it out for charity, helping benefit the flood victims in Louisiana. And it's kind of near and dear to my heart because I was able to go there before Katrina hit, and I thought it was a beautiful place with a lot of amazing people. And you haven't lived until you've been able to walk down Bourbon Street with a beer in your hand and just people watch. It's absolutely insane.
And titties. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Those are
I
always
was trying to keep it PG-13 for the group, but yeah, let's just say there's a lot of charisma checks going on.
Yeah, September 3rd, Damien, who is Doc Norman's DM, and myself have this running joke about who's the better DM. We've decided to settle it by doing a charity event. It'll be very simple. We will be here streaming live on Bros and Dragons Twitch. We will probably be on other Twitches. I think we're going to share that as much as we can. We will be doing the voting simply by, at the end of our game, who has the most money donated under their name. That is how the voting is going to work. And like Doc Norman said, whether you are into it or not, we will set it up so that the money goes into the Bros and Dragons official business PayPal account. I am a licensed business, so I do have some credibility to following through with this, considering I probably spent more to build my business than is going to be donated, which will probably be sad. I'm not talking about the donations. I'm talking about how much money I put in to make this happen. When we do this, it's for fun. So if you're not into D&D or you're spreading the word, if you're not into D&D, I don't know why you're watching this, but if you're spreading the word and people aren't into D&D, it's for such a good cause that all they have to do is go to, I'm going to put up my PayPal Me account, put the donation that they want to give in there, and in the memo, just put DM Doc, and we'll understand that you just didn't want to watch the stream. Oh, I feel like Hillary Clinton. All right.
So it's not really a plug; it's just an advice. If you guys have Facebook, people watching, and you guys, there is an actually Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Facebook page, and a lot of advice, a lot of thoughts, a lot of just stuff going on. And if you need help or whatever, you guys can join that, and we're all very nice, and and we love to do our assistance as we can.
I'm part of all the groups. So I just wanted to clarify. It's Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition or 5th ed, right?
Yeah, it's that way. Nope.
That doesn't look right.
It says Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and it says closed group. So you have to actually ask to join.
Yes. And if
it's facebook.com/groups/DND5th. So.
And as always, you can go to group/Bros and Dragons, join there. You can follow us now officially that a Pinterest is finally getting started.
Yeah.
Probably every social media outlet out there. Check out the podcast. hit us up with your dreams. How can we help you guys do your stuff? I said it today, and I don't think people realize that's what Bros and Dragons is. Bros and Dragons, very small part is us marketing the podcast, D21 Gaming, helping market Yaro Shien's channel, which he does fine on his own, but we do it because we love him. The Bros and Dragons podcast, stuff like that. That's the small part. Bros and Dragons is founded to help other people live their dreams. So if you have ideas, no matter your nerd venture, it's not just Dungeons and Dragons. I think D21 Gaming is starting a Star Wars on Twitch, which I think that we're going to be co-hosting on our Twitch channel. And even if we don't, it's just an amazing idea. We want to support things like that. Music, books, you name it, we've got it, or we're going to get it. We're working on actually creating a publishing company right now for books. And what I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter if there's no such thing as little dreams or big dreams. There's only your dreams. Having said that, come on down, visit us, let us know what you're doing, and see if somebody in the community can reach out and help you try to succeed in your dreams. But as always, I'm DM Doc, and from everybody in the Bros and Dragons family, I'd like to say keep it nerdy, and remember to always live your dreams.